Good evening. Thanks for making MTN your choice for news. I'm Tim McGonigal. We begin with the latest on coronavirus in Montana. There are 2 new cases of coronavirus in the state, bringing the total to 451 cases. 356 people have recovered. 10 people are currently hospitalized. In our area, Cascade County has 15 confirmed cases, 4 of which are active. Of Lewis and Clark County's 16 cases, 3 are active. And in the 10 of the 29 cases in Tue County are active. There have been 15 COVID-related deaths in the Treasure State. Well, on Monday, St. Peter's Health will begin to gradually reopen services that were canceled due to COVID-19. Visitor restrictions will remain in place until further notice for the safety of patients and staff, and people are asked to continue to follow social distancing guidelines in the coming weeks. And St. Peter's will also be having a phased reintroduction of elective surgeries and procedures, diagnostic imaging studies, physical therapy, and in-person clinic visits. And those who had a procedure that was canceled by COVID-19 restrictions should expect to hear something from their doctor for rescheduling.
We're following a fairly conservative approach as we get these surgeries scheduled again. And it may take some time to work through all the patients who have had those surgeries postponed, but certainly they should expect to hear from their surgeon's office, and we would encourage them to reach out if they don't.
Non-emergency patients may be asked to wait in their vehicles until staff are ready for them in order to limit the number of people in the waiting room. And providers will also continue to see patients virtually through telehealth as an alternative to in-person visits. Well, Benefis Health System has begun implementing a roadmap to resuming some procedures. The procedures include radiological services, some therapies, and the hospital will once again be doing some outpatient and non-emergent surgeries. Patients will receive multiple screenings throughout the process, which could lead to their procedure being canceled. At this point, they will not be blanket testing as a screening process, but will continue to use testing as necessary in some cases. Strict visitation will remain in effect, and going forward, Benefis says things won't be going back to a business as usual model.
It's going to be judicious and staged and monitored, and when we're back at full capacity, it still will likely require a level of scrutiny and a level of protection that maybe people haven't had to undergo in the past.
And we've posted more thorough details on the steps they're taking to reopen on our website. Well, more and more Montana school districts are opting to end classroom learning for the remainder of the school year. The Helena School Board is discussing the issue during a special work session. As part of Phase 1 of Governor Steve Bullock's reopening plan for Montana, school districts can reopen their doors beginning May 7th. Bozeman, Butte, and Billings are among the AA districts choosing to continue virtual learning. The Great Falls School District is expected to make a decision on Monday. We'll have more from the Helena Board's work session coming up tonight at 10. Well, the switch to online classes in colleges around the country has run into several obstacles. Now, some students are pushing back, saying they aren't getting what they paid for. MTN's Matt Holz-Affel spoke with 2 colleges in Great Falls to see if what they're seeing in other parts of the country is happening here.
Across the country, students are fighting against tuition payments, citing loss of benefits such as in-person instruction and access to campus facilities. While most people are not arguing against the closing of campuses, they believe that paying full tuition prices for solely online instruction isn't fair. But at University of Providence and Great Falls College MSU, Great Falls' 2 colleges both say they aren't experiencing the same level of pushback.
No students have expressed concerns about this isn't what I paid for.
Not directly. Everybody knows. I think everybody goes into this knowing that it's it's a change, and it's a quick one, and change is never easy for everybody.
Both Providence and Great Falls College were partially online colleges before the coronavirus pandemic. That made the transition easier than most.
Almost half of our programs are online programs, and every program had an online component, so we were well positioned to make that pivot to fully online.
According to one student at Great Falls College, things aren't really that different.
I don't think you're really missing out on a whole lot. We still have the face-to-face, although it's through a screen and everybody just kind of seeing each other through the webcam. But the nice part is we live in a day and age where you can communicate with somebody halfway around the world near instantaneously.
One thing is for sure, This pandemic will change the way we do almost everything.
We'll likely have more hybrid kinds of courses. We'll likely have different kinds of scheduling of courses to account for the potential for the fall second wave, as they're talking about. We've learned a lot this semester about what we can do better next time we have to do this.
I think that we'll become institutionally a little smarter, more experienced about this scale of this delivery. I think it's going to change just about everything everybody in the country is doing, and we're not going to be immune to that.
In Great Falls, Matt Holzaffel, MTN News.
Both schools' representatives said they were proud of how their students and faculty have responded to the changes this semester. Well, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks have updated their COVID-19 closure policy in response to the governor's reopening plan. Beginning Friday, group use sites and overnight camping opportunities will resume at most FWP fishing access sites and state parks. But there may be some limited amenities or services at some sites, such as bathrooms being closed. Floating on the Smith River will reopen May 5th, and FWP is working with federal and local partners to safely allow recreation. FWP spokesperson Greg Lemon says there's an abundance of outdoor recreation available. People are just asked to follow social distancing guidelines while using them.
What we don't want is to open up a group use site and then have, a group of 30 people hunkered under a picnic shelter or smushed together on a fishing pier.
Out-of-state visitors must still follow a 14-day quarantine directive from when coming in from out of state. Well, most of us are enjoying a gorgeous day today, and our Storm Tracker weather team is still tracking some trouble spots. Brandon Michaels joins us now. Brandon, we've seen some areas of strong winds.
Yeah, we definitely have. Those strong winds bringing in some higher fire danger, and that's really the big concern for parts of the area today. Actually, a pretty large portion of the area, anywhere from about Hill County to Choteau County to Fergus County, and then off to the east to the North Dakota border. We still have a red flag warning in effect until 9 p.m. Much stronger winds in those areas. We're looking at peak gusts over 30 miles per hour, and at times even over 40 or even over 50 miles per hour, as is the case for places like Miles City and over toward Glendive. Not quite as windy in Great Falls or Helena right now, but definitely a breeze, 25 mile per hour gust. You can see a little bit of smoke in the background. We do have some controlled burns going on, so if you smell a little bit of smoke in the air, that's what you're picking up on. 64, so comfortable temperature in Great Falls right now. Beautiful in Helena, a little bit warmer, 67 degrees, a little less windy with that peak gust at 21 miles per hour, and you can see beautiful blue skies there. Now looking ahead, we are tracking a really nice warm-up for tomorrow, and we're going to talk about how warm we're going to get later in the show.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Well, some sad news to report. We've learned former Montana Republican Congressman Ron Marlene died Sunday night in Bozeman. He was 84. Marlene, a farmer and rancher from Scobie, won the Eastern District congressional seat in 1976 and was reelected 7 times. No other Montana Republican has served longer in the U.S. House. He then lost a close statewide race in 1992, but stayed involved with the Republican Party and donated his congressional papers to Montana State University in 2006. Well, restaurants are getting anxious to open their doors again, some after renovations and some for the first time. More details coming up.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. As restaurants get ready to open their doors for customers in the coming days, one restaurant that took advantage of the closed dining room needs a bit more time to get ready. MTN's Sam Hoyle takes us inside on Broadway to look at their renovations.
It's not much to look at right now, but On Broadway in downtown Helena is doing some major renovations to their dining room, effectively doubling their floor space.
We always had a plan of doing some renovations on this side and closing in June, but when this virus hit, it seemed like the most appropriate to get the renovation that was going on next door over here and get this all done at the same time. This has always been a dream of trying to buy the next door, the radio station, and turning it into the bar.
Though with work comes a timeline, and as of right now, On Broadway's doors won't be open for diners to come in and order a meal until at least mid-May for their original dining room and mid-June for the entire location, if everything goes according to plan.
That's, of course, if everything works. There's a few slowdowns with the virus and supplies and getting the getting the tradespeople in here to do the work.
Though on Broadway's reopen won't happen for a while, it hasn't stopped owner Patrick Cassidy from crunching the numbers on the business increase he's hoping for and what's viable in the post-COVID-19 era.
Oh, I'm really hoping for 50%. If we have a 50% increase in sales, of course, you know, you have to plan for the worst, and we have to do about 20% to make this a viable expansion.
In Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN News.
And though the restaurant is still knee-deep in renovation, customers can still order over the phone and starting next week online. Well, Sand Coulee Centerville native Kyle Carlson has been offering catering for the past few years. Recently, he announced that he'll be moving into a dine-in location this summer at the location that used to house Big Mouth Barbecue. Carlson Q hopes to open sometime early June, offering quality barbecue to Great Falls. Owner Carlson says he likes to travel Montana and try different foods and wants to bring more local options to the Electric City.
We're lacking the mom and pops. Like, you know, Missoula's got so many options for eating out, and they're all, you know, original places. I don't know, I just want to bring some of that here.
And we'll update you when we find out exactly what day they will be open. Well, some businesses are beginning to slowly reopen during phase 1 of the governor's reopening plan, but others, like gyms and fitness centers, are left to wait and see how it goes. MTN's Isaiah Dunk reports.
The lights have been off for weeks at Access Fitness in Great Falls, and it hasn't been like that for the 24/7 fitness center in decades. When will they come back on? It's hard to say. Gyms were not part of phase 1 in Governor Bullock's reopening plan.
Listen to public health folks that part of their concern when it comes to gymnasiums or gyms is you don't always have the social distancing. You also have a lot more of, you know, sweat and potential bodily fluids along the way being transmitted.
There's no firm date for the start of phase 2, and Access Fitness manager Greg Hall said very soon it'll be hard for the business to pay its bills.
We're one of those operations that just kind of stay open, and come feast or famine, we're still there. Holidays or not, we're still there, but this is very, very unexpected.
Down Under Fitness in Havre is already on the brink. Co-owner Christy Perrott said the physical therapy side of the business is open because it's essential, but the steep decline in sign-ups and membership dues has the business teetering on bankruptcy.
We were really expecting that we were going to be in phase 1, and I was feeling so lost. I was feeling like everything that I had worked the last 20 years of my life for was going to be dissolved because we were going to have to wait who knows how long till phase 2 could start.
Perrott argues that fitness centers exist to keep people in good health. She wonders why bars and casinos can be open with groups of 10 or less, but gyms can't.
You tell me, does the casino have a spray bottle at each station with disinfectant in it that they're going to use to spray off the machines after somebody touches it?
On the other hand, Hall said at least in his gym, safety measures would be difficult to control.
It's the adult playground, you might say, where people come and go, and they move everywhere. And the thing about it, if you're really working out right in a gym, you're all over the place. You're touching weights. You're just everywhere. It's hard to lock a person down to a table, or to a casino machine, or to a area of the store. It's everywhere.
So what can gyms do? Perrott said Down Under will be moving some equipment and classes outside, following the state's outdoor recreation guidelines. Meanwhile, Access Fitness is renovating, waiting for that elusive phase 2 date.
Would I like to know? Oh yeah. I'd also like to know the lotto numbers. You know what I mean? We're just going to keep plodding along, keep cleaning, keep the place ready to go. And when the bell rings, our doors will be open, and hopefully everything will work out fine for all of us.
In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN News.
We're tracking a very warm day tomorrow. A couple chances of rain in the forecast, too. We'll tell you what to expect after the break.
Thanks. Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
Well, as I said before the break, we've got some very warm temperatures headed our way tomorrow, and we're pretty comfortable right now, too. It's 63 in Hayes, 66 in Havre, 64 in Great Falls. Down in Helena, you're at 67 degrees, and it's 69 in Jordan. No 70s today. We're going to see plenty of those tomorrow and potentially even warmer than that. First, let's go through the overnight lows tonight. 40 in Glasgow, 41 in Jordan. The winds are going to be dying down in eastern Montana tonight as well. 44 in Hayes, 44 in Fort Benton, and also 44 degrees in Great Falls and Helena. Tomorrow's high temperatures, though, Huge increase. In fact, this is going to be the warmest air of the year so far. I'm going 80 for both Great Falls and Helena tomorrow. Really, really warm. 78 in Fort Benton, 75 in Chester. Places like Jordan into the 80s, pretty close to that. In places like Glasgow, it's going to be almost like a little bit of an early summer-like day for us tomorrow. And some more good news, something else we've been tracking is the winds. As I said, not as strong. We're looking at probably by the afternoon some 10 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe as high as 25 miles per hour. But considering some parts of the state today saw wind gusts of about 50 miles per hour, and yesterday as well, that's a really nice improvement in our winds. Now, something else we do need to touch on when we're talking about some warmer air this time of year is the mountain snowpack. And right now, it's very healthy. In fact, some spots are actually a little bit above average for this time of year. 143% for the Sun, Teton, and Marias reservoir there. And in general, we've got a lot of snow in the mountains and a lot of water in the snow. So we are going to start to see some melting with that and probably some rises in some of the local creeks and streams. So that's something else we're going to keep an eye on with this very warm air mass right on top of us for Wednesday. We talked about this last week. We talked about it yesterday, this big ridge building in. Temporary, though. Unfortunately, it's not going to stay there for very long. Sometimes in the summer, those will sit over us for a couple days. By the time we get to Thursday, we're going to start to see this ridge breaking down, which means cooler weather and also the chance for some showers by the time we get to Thursday. So we're going to talk about that right now as well. Definitely not seeing that currently. We've got clear skies statewide as we expected, maybe a little bit of cloud cover kind of right along the border with the Dakotas. But as we head through the night tonight, not many changes. A little bit more cloud cover to the west. Most of us nice and clear tonight into tomorrow morning. Kind of the same story. Along the Rocky Mountain front, probably a little bit more cloud cover, even maybe as far east as Cut Bank, but lots of sunshine through the day tomorrow. We are going to start to see those clouds increasing late in the day tomorrow. And then as we head into tomorrow evening and into early Thursday, our first little batch of showers, but really it's going to be later Thursday that we're going to get some heavier and steadier rains moving in. So we do have some chances to pick up some moisture in the forecast here. So again, we'll keep an eye on that when we're talking about moisture moving in and snowmelt on top of each other. But in the meantime, let's enjoy the beautiful day tomorrow. Very warm, nice and sunny, 80 degrees the high temperature. Then those showers move in mainly late on Thursday. Partly cloudy skies on Friday, mostly sunny, 69. Beautiful day there on Saturday. And then we'll get into some more moisture for Sunday and Monday, maybe even some thunderstorms to close out the weekend. Nice and warm in Helena tomorrow. Again, 80 degrees, by far the warmest day of the year. Cooler with showers moving in as that ridge breaks down for Thursday. Still cooler on Friday, starting to trend in the right direction Saturday. Actually, Saturday looks a lot like what we saw today. Showers and storms Sunday, a few more showers Monday, and cloudy skies, and still a little bit on the cooler side for Tuesday. Tim?
Thanks, Brandon. Coronavirus concerns have struck out some sports in Montana, but the boys of summer are counting on a comeback. That story is next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's news leader.
Montana's American Legion baseball teams are one step closer to beginning their seasons, though there are still stipulations. General Chairman Ron Edwards held a Zoom meeting with coaches, administrators, and umpires over the weekend, discussing the potential of beginning the season for more than 62 teams across the state. The conversation sparked hope across Montana, but the outline must still follow Governor Bullock's reopening plans.
The one thing we stressed, each team needs to go to their respective jurisdictional authorities, because we've got a lot of teams that play on county land. We've got teams that play inside of cities, and we need to make sure that all those authorities understand what we're doing by starting to look at practicing. That's kind of the first step. We talked about step 2, which would be when could we start playing games. We tied that to phase 2 of the governor's plan, where you can have up to 50 people and still maintaining safe distancing. We're excited to have an opportunity. We take it very seriously as far as that opportunity and instructing our teams to do a go slow approach to getting started with practice at least.
And you can read more about Montana American Legion baseball's outline over at montanasports.com. Meanwhile, the Great Falls Chargers were one of the first teams in the state to take advantage of the phased reopening, and they hit the field for their first practice this afternoon after they were approved by the county health department to do so. The Chargers are practicing in 2 sessions with only 10 people allowed on the field at a time while following social distance guidelines. We'll have more on what baseball in Great Falls will look like during phase 1 coming up tomorrow. And we'll be right back with a final check of weather.
Welcome back. Very warm day tomorrow, even if you have to step out in the morning. 53 degrees the temperature there, 70s by noon, and then by the time we get to the afternoon, I think we're looking at temperatures as high as 80 degrees for parts of the area.
Well, a Helena woman is being celebrated today as she reaches 103 years old. Family members and friends came to Touchmark for a drive-by birthday party for Irene Roberts. They made signs, brought gifts, sang to her, and greeted her from a distance. Irene also received good wishes from Shriners Hospitals. Leaders say that she may be the oldest living Shriners patient after she was treated for polio at the age of 6. She says she's grateful for Touchmark and everyone who came to celebrate her birthday. Happy birthday to Irene.
Happy birthday.
She's been through a couple of pandemics.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
All right.
Good for her.
Happy birthday. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.